Vancouver is a city that, in theory, prides itself on accessibility, compassion, sustainable innovation. My name is Jack. I'm 20 years old. I've moved 37 times in the last 17 years. The first time was in 1995 when I was 3. I lived with my mother and 3 siblings in a small house on an island. It was beautiful there. Friends and relatives coming to visit would always compliment us on how nice the house looked inside and out, because my mother worked very hard to keep it that way, although she didn't own it. The home was practically built on the beach, only a few feet from the high tide line. But the house had been there for a long time, and probably still would be standing if we hadn't been asked to leave. We were told that we would be coming back right after a few improvements had been made, and that was good news, but we never did go back. The house was actually kept empty for a long time. All the people that lived in that bay had to leave as well. It's a very nice provincial park now. Where did we go next? My memory is a little unclear about it, but I've done my best to map it out here for you. There were dozens of rooms and tents and couches, cars, houses, hotels, yards, campgrounds, and cabins. We had to swallow our pride and accept help from anybody with good intentions. I'm so happy for the network of friends and family we had. Without them, we would have been far worse off. A lot of people are. But my younger brother, my mother, and myself lived this way for years and years. A lot of the time we didn't go to school for more than a couple of weeks or a few months. I met a lot of people like us, especially single-parent families and young people who were just traveling and trying to get by. I got along best with adults because other children didn't really understand what life was like for my brother and I. We were evicted many times or just had our things thrown out into the street. I dealt with police a lot as a kid, and these interactions were overwhelmingly negative, and we weren't undesirable tenants. My mom didn't throw parties or do drugs. She was just single-mindedly focused on raising her kids well. When I was around 11, we decided it'd be easier for me to go to Montreal and live with my sister. I spent about a year and a half out east, different relatives. I've been told that the time I was gone was the most difficult for my mother and my little brother, and I felt guilty about that then, and still do. In no particular order: Salt Spring Island, Fairfield, Oak Bay, Galiano Island, Souk, Saturna Island, Squamish, Whistler, Kitsilano, Montreal, Quebec City, St. Foy, Hull, Ottawa South, LaSalle, Hastings Sunrise, Mount Pleasant, East Vancouver, lots of places in between. BC has a housing crisis, and British Columbia also has a child poverty crisis. And that outrages me. Living in Vancouver has been great for me, and I love it here. But I know that I most likely won't be able to afford a home here in my lifetime. The same is true where I was born, on Salt Spring Island. Can I ever really feel at home anywhere when the same thing that happened to me 17 years ago could happen to me now as a young adult? Will I ever want to make long-term plans for my education or career? Or start a family? The answer is that I still don't know right now. I'm aware of my housing options. Single resident occupancy hotels, Vancouver specials and townhouses, co-ops, condominiums, now laneway homes. Vancouver has all that, but the best option seems to be to go somewhere else. The same problems that the city and province had when I was a child still exist, and they're getting worse. We need to figure this out.